What's up guys, and welcome back to another Pokemon Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon speculation video, and today we are talking about the Rotom Pokédex. Now, this was the Pokédex for Sun and Moon. It was a bit different to normal Pokédexes. It was talkative, it could speak to you, so it had a bit more of a personality, and it also featured as the main sort of character, the main thing for the bottom screen of the game. And honestly, I hated it. It was a waste of the bottom screen. Yes, you got a cool map, but Pokemon is not a game you need a map for. That ruins the experience. I found at some points I was actually looking down at the map just to find out where I could go, as opposed to the normal Pokemon game exploration, which is exploring and finding where I can go, which was quite annoying to me. I didn't like it basically. And apart from the map, there are a few other features, and also going to go through them first before we go further on, talking about whether it will return, I suppose. But of course, first we'll look at what it was. So, of course, the main feature of the Pokédex, the Rotom Pokédex, was the Pokédex, and that's pretty standard. You can get a Pokédex anywhere. There wasn't anything particularly special about it compared to previous Pokédexes. There was just a Pokédex. The main thing, as I mentioned already, on the bottom screen was the map, which is basically there most of the time, apart from when Rotom decided to sort of pop up and say some random shit that wasn't really necessary. But the map there, as I said, it follows you around, or it shows you the map generally, and I didn't like it. I don't want it to show show me where I can go, where I can't. I want to find that out for myself. Of course, I know some of you might have liked it, but I prefer just having a town map that they have a route up, a route left, a route rather than this map, which was basically literally the entire thing. You could see little details like places where you could go and get an item, for example. There's just no exploration left for me, so I didn't like it at all. But that was the map, and of course the Poké Finder was another big sort of feature of it. You could probably have it without the Rotom Pokédex, to be honest. It's completely sort of separate almost, but it was integrated in this time. Poké Finder was cool. It was a nice gimmick. If we're honest, also it got pretty boring after a few shots. Yes, okay, you'd stop at each location and you'd see a new Pokemon. Oh, cool! A little I don't know. A little Lillipup stood on some bales, brilliant. Snap a few photos of it, get some points, great. You're never going to come back and take some more pictures of it, are you? What's the point? Of course, there was the versioning, which is cool. Okay, cool, yeah, get some better zoom or whatnot. So get some 1,500 thumbs up, 10,000, yeah, let's go for it. And then 1.5 million thumbs up. No one. Well, obviously some people do. I was planning to, but really, it would literally be a couple of hours, if not more, of just grinding at the same spot over and over and over, waiting for Pokemon to run in front of you, snapping, pressing the A button, getting the picture, doing it over again for a few hours at a time. There was no sort of gimmick to it. Yes, okay, there was maybe one or two different Pokemon per spot, but really, after one or two times, that's it. There's no specialty to it, and it just becomes a grind. And it was a good gimmick, as I mentioned, but it didn't really focus or work as a proper mechanic, and as I said already, it's not really too integral to the Rotom Pokédex itself. It can stand alone. You can just have a Poké Finder on its own. It doesn't have to be part of the Rotom Pokédex. But that's the main features of it, and of course the other thing we have to talk about is the fact that he talks to you, which I found annoying, very annoying, because really he doesn't say much that's interesting. Yes, okay, maybe there's one or two quips that are funny. It's like, aha, I get the joke, it's brilliant, yeah, cool. And then for the majority, it's just like, shut up, I know what I'm doing, I know where I'm going. It's just terrible. So in terms of, I'm just going to look for his quotes quickly and see what he says. Obviously, he can, go over your Pokédex, which is something that basically no one ever does. When you register a Pokemon, he says something, which is basically the same every time. Again, not really that interesting. Apart from maybe when you get like a mythical Pokemon where he says, "It's great, is that a mythical Pokemon?" Yeah, that's pretty cool. But of course, yeah, progress quotes again. Similarly, of course, he does speak throughout the game as well if you tap him. And one annoying thing is, at the end of the game, he says the same 2 or 3 quotes over and over and over. There is no sort of limit to it, and of course, it's almost irrelevant to you. I think one of them he says is like, talking about Ultra Beasts when you've already caught them all. Okay, we had Necrozma, but even after you catch Necrozma, he's still talking about it. It's really annoying. And I just found it, yes, okay, it was a cool idea, having a talking Pokédex that can interact with you and join you on your journey, but really, it didn't function much. The map was okay, but it was just like a more advanced town map. You didn't really need it to cover the bottom screen. And, the talking and the interaction was hollow at best, I would say. There was nothing really, unless you've probably focused on it, I suppose some people might have. I found it very hollow and just not very interesting at all. So that was just my thoughts, of course. Whether he returns in Sun and Moon, I think he probably will, to be honest. It's the Alola thing, you know, we have different Pokédexes per region. It would be a bit weird for them to switch it over and have a different Pokédex or just have a normal Pokédex, so I do feel like he will return. Whether he should return or not, I don't know, because the main thing about him, my main gripe is that, yes, okay, he takes up the whole bottom screen, and that removes any like PSS we had for X and Y and ORAS. It was on the bottom screen the whole time, online communication, can talk to someone, battle someone, access any sort of online feature you want within seconds. Instead you get this nasty map here, so to go online you have to instead open up the Festival Plaza, let it load, and then talk to people, and it's just a very, very hard grind. And it was just a waste of the bottom screen really. But, talking about the return in Sun and Moon, what could they do to improve him? So one major thing they could do to improve him is add extra features. As we looked at, they only have 3 main features, which is the Pokédex, the map, and the Pokefinder. I'm fine with the Pokefinder returning. It's a little gimmick, it's cool, they might as well bring it back and just change the Pokemon up, for example. And of course the map, yes, okay, I guess it's going to stay on the bottom screen, even though I hate that. But one thing they could do to add it is add different features, you know, you could swap the map out for. So yes, okay, the map could be there usually, but you can also have a little menu on the side, similar to the sort of menu, I guess, in ORAS, where you have all the different options. And the main thing would be interesting would be something similar to the Dex Nav. A load of people love the Dex Nav in ORAS. Of course, they were sad it was not going to return. It wasn't going to return. It's just how they work it. But they can have something very similar. Give the Rotom Pokédex a few extra functions, extra features, have the map on its face, swap out for something listing the Pokemon in the area, maybe something about SOS chain, you could list something, you know, something like that. Just make it more interesting. I don't expect the Dex Nav or any specific features of that to return, but a few more apps basically. As a little Pokédex, why not do so, you know? We can't grow berries in the region, really, so you can't have like a berry catcher, but you can have other things. Of course, one thing that may return or may come back or may be put into Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon is a way to rebattle trainers, because that's usually in the follow-up games. So just think, obviously Fire and Leaf Green had it. Think about Platinum, definitely had one. I'm not sure if Black 2 and White 2 had one, but you guys get the idea. The Versus Seeker or similar, and of course you just have the Rotom Pokédex do that for you. You know, have a little app again that rings out and asks trainers to rebattle, and that would work pretty well, and it would make it a useful bit of kit, as opposed to, as it is currently in Sun and Moon, something that makes the bottom screen on the 3DS almost irrelevant, apart from in battles. You know, I can't remember at any point in the Sun and Moon that I actually really looked at the bottom screen and actually really used it, unless I was in a battle hitting it to pick moves. But that's just me, guys, so let me know down below in the comment section, did you like the Rotom Pokédex in Sun and Moon? Am I just crazy for ranting about it? And of course, what updates would you like to see happen to it in Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon? Would you like to see, you know, like a rebattling feature like trainers, or would you like to see the Rotom Pokédex just completely go and have something else replace it and just forget about it? Let me know down below in the comment section what you think. But for now, this is going to be it for today, so I shall see you next time. Thank you for watching. Goodbye, my friends.